Okay, so we're going to do a really gentle session, an all over body session, but this one's going to be nice and gentle. This session is also a prenatal friendly session. We've got nothing that's lying down flat on your back. If you prefer to do some of the exercises lying flat on your back, then I'll give you the option to at that point when we come to the exercise. But a lot of the exercises are going to be, the tummy exercises are going to be propped up or sat up. So there should be no reason why your head's down. So which is what makes this a prenatal friendly session. So we're going to make a start on your front. So come round, bring your knees down onto the mat, bring your hands down underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to start off with some gentle cat-cow. So you're going to tuck your tailbone under, arch your back away from the mat, and then reverse that, sink your lower back down. Pull your tummy in as you arch away from the mat. Let your lower back sink down. We're just getting a little bit of mobility into your spine. Let's exhale as you arch away. Inhale as you sink and take a little look forwards. Just a few more. Last one. Come to rest somewhere in the center of that movement there, and then start to draw your tummy in and up a little bit. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. If you prefer to at this point, especially if you have any wrist issues, you can come down onto your elbows. Can you stretch one leg out behind you and then square off through your hips? So your hips are nice and square to the mat. You're going to float that leg up off the mat and just hold it there. Really stretch that leg out nice and long. If you feel like you can and you want to, release the other hand forwards and float that up as well. So we're into swimming now. And hold there, challenging your balance. If you prefer, you could have your foot and your hand down on the mat. Keep that tummy pulled in. Good. Can we go for little pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, draw all back into center. Swap onto the other side. So stretch the leg out behind you, square off your hips. Float that leg up and hold. Stretch out through that leg. Pull your tummy in a little bit. You're going to reach the other arm out in front if you want to. And hold again there. And then if you want to, pulse. 3, 2, 1. Woo, hold your balance. Lower down, bring it all back into center. We're going to go into a few leg lifts here. So again, you can be down on your elbows or you can be up on your hands, whichever position you prefer. Stretch that leg back behind you again. Square off your hips. Float the leg up just to hip height. Now you're just going to lower and lift and lower and lift. So getting a little bit of work in the back of your leg and in your bum. So our previous exercise was all about those little stabilizer muscles, working your back, working your arms. This is focusing much more on your bum and the back of your leg. Last 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg up there. Take a bend at the knee and a flex at the foot. Just going to lower down halfway and lift and lower and lift. Imagine you're trying to push your heel up towards the mat. Just 5 to go. Last one. Bring that knee in there. If you need to, have a little sit back. Roll through your shoulders, roll through your wrists. Come back down in that position for the other side. Just deal with my dangly mic. So stretch the leg out behind you. Remember, you can be on your elbows. Pull your tummy in. Square off your hips. Float that leg up just to hip height. And then we're going to lower and lift and lower and lift. Trying to keep your back really nice and still. So what you're not doing is sinking in your lower back as you lift that leg up. You've got a really nice, strong midsection. Woo! That's holding you there. Squeeze through your bum as you lift your leg. Last 3, 2, 1. Lift your leg up. Take a bend at the knee. Flex at the foot. You're going to lower down to halfway and lift and lower and lift. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a knee. That's such a military term. Bring your knee down. Push your bum back over your heels. Reach your arms forwards. You can have your feet together and your knees apart, so you're resting down between your knees here. Okay, we're going to come into a side seated position. Come down onto your elbow. Bring your elbow underneath your shoulder. Because we're doing a gentle session today, you can have a bend in both legs. If you want to make this harder, you could either straighten out through the top leg or you could straighten out through both legs. We're doing some side bends. I'm going to stick with bent legs. So open up through your chest, slide your shoulder blades down your back. You can have this top hand down here if you want a bit of assistance. And all we're going to do is lift up through your hips and lower down. Top hand on your top hip if you're not using that hand for a little bit of assistance. So it's just a little hip lift. If you want to make it harder, remember you can straighten out through that top leg, which means you can get your hips a bit higher, or you could straighten out through both legs, which is really quite intense. Good. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Hold this one up there. Roll your shoulders back and down. Rainbow that arm over. Get a little stretch through the top of your body. Arm comes down, hips down. Good. Let's have a little swivel around to the other side. So elbow down underneath your shoulder. Take a bend in both legs, either front hand down or on your top hip. You can lift up through your hips and lower. You might have to wriggle yourself into the right position here. So lift and lower and lift and lower. We're aiming for 10. Good. 3, 2. This is the hold on this one. Rainbow that arm over. Have a little stretch through the top side. Arm comes down, hips come down. Have a little rest there. We're going to come into a seated position and then come down onto your elbows. So you're in this kind of propped up, head up position. You can do this whole exercise with your head, neck and shoulders down and your arms down by your sides if you prefer. See how you feel. So from here, can you just tuck your tailbone under and release? Under and release, getting a little bit of mobility into your back. And as you do that, can you start to think about pulling your tummy in and up, pulling those hip bones together? Good, come to rest somewhere in the center of that movement. You're still down on your elbows. My arms are slipping a little bit. I think I need stickier elbow pads. Good. Can you float one leg up to tabletop? Pull your tummy in a little bit more, second leg up to tabletop. Then we're just going to tap your foot down and lift it back up and down and up. If you want to make this easier, you could have one leg down and just be tapping with one foot. And for my antenatal clients, as you get bigger, this is what you might want to modify to. So one leg down. Otherwise, you've got one leg up, one leg down. And you're doing scissors here. So pull your tummy in and up. Not changing the angle at your knee as you drop your foot down. So you're not collapsing like this. You're hinging at the hip instead. Lovely. Good work. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Under control, lower your legs there. Have a little rest. You might want to stretch out through your legs. You can come up to a seated position, or if you're happy to, you could lie down on your back. Just be careful coming out of this now. So take a bend in your knees, roll onto your side, push back up to seated, or back up to that elbow propped up position. This time we've got single leg stretch. So float one leg up, pull your tummy in, float the other leg up. Going to stretch out through one leg and draw it back in. Stretch through the other leg and draw it back in. Stretch and draw in and stretch and in. You could do this with one leg down on the mat. A stretch and release. You're going thigh to thigh. So you want to point your foot at the point where the ceiling meets the wall. So you're not bringing your leg too high up. You're not coming too low down. Keep your tummy pulled in and up. So you might feel this in the front of your legs as well as in your tummy. This is another one that you can do lying on your back if you prefer. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your legs under control. Let's come up into a seated position for a half roll up. So let's take a bend in your legs, hold on behind your thighs and pull up to a lovely tall straight back position. And then start to pull your tummy in and up so you can hold yourself there and then bring your arms out in front. Take an inhale. Exhale, nod your chin, round through your spine and come back just a little way, maybe halfway, and then back up to the top. We're looking for a bit of back mobility and a little bit of ab work. So rolling back and come back up to the top. And roll back. And to the top. Good. Aiming for 8. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Come all the way up to the top there. Rest your arms down. Take the tension off your tummy by pulling yourself into that tall position. Last exercise now. It's really a stretch. You're going to stretch your legs out in front and separate your feet so they're about mat distance apart, and then pull your knees back towards your toes. You want to be sitting upright with a really nice straight back. If you prefer, you could have a bend in your legs, and especially if you struggle to get that straight back, take a bend in your legs. Bring your arms up to shoulder height. Take an inhale. Exhale, nod your chin, pull your tummy in and reach forwards. As you're reaching forwards, can you push your hips back behind you? Stretch out through those fingers. Imagine someone's pulling you by the fingers, and then grow nice and tall. So what this isn't, it's not a lean, it's a rounding through your back. So grow nice and tall. Take an inhale. As you exhale, nod, pull your tummy in and reach, round through your back. Good, and grow nice and tall. If you prefer, you could have your hands down by your side. So take an inhale, exhale, nod your chin, pull your tummy in, slide your hands forwards. If you don't like having your arms up. Same thing applies. You're pushing your back away from you, pulling your tummy in, reaching your arms long, and grow nice and tall there. Good, let's just have a little stretch. So let's come onto your side and then onto your knees. We're just going to bring one foot down in front of your knee, and then grow nice and tall into your hip flexor stretch. So you might be able to just stay tall and drive your hips forwards and feel the stretch there, or you might want to lean more in towards the stretch. It's completely up to you. Just make sure you're not opening out from side to side, you're just driving forwards. And relax down there, swap onto the other side. Might be a bit wobbly swapping. Again, drive forwards or take a lean. Stretching out through those hip flexors. Just a gentle stretch, just a mild stretch feeling. Nothing too intense. Good, relax down there. Bring both knees down onto the mat. Push your bum back over your heels. Let's have your feet together, your knees apart. Arms come forward, sink down into that stretch. Walk your hands over to one side. Then back to center, over to the other side. Come back to the middle. Slide your hands back towards your knees. Grow nice and tall, and you're all done. Let me know how you get on. I love to hear from you. Give me a little bit of feedback.